However, I would encourage every single girl, if you are thinking of doing it, try to do it yourself first. Because if you are able to pull it off, of course, you've saved yourself a commission percentage. But the real reason that I'm saying to do that is because you will have a real understanding of the amount of work that goes into an OnlyFans profile, and particularly the amount of work that goes into making an OnlyFans profile successful. Once you try it yourself and realize all of the moving parts, number one, you're going to have a much better understanding of OnlyFans in general and what to actually do. So that means you can ask much better questions when you're partnering with an agency, and you'll also have a better idea of how good of a job they are doing. But more to the reason I suggest you to do it yourself is you will appreciate all of the work that goes into growing an OnlyFans profile. Unfortunately, it's not quite as easy as what it's sometimes made out to be, as if you just take your top off and get your boobs out and all of a sudden you're making like 30K per month. It's really not the case. OnlyFans needs to be treated as a business. I've said this many times before. You need sales, marketing, content production, accounting, taxes. It is literally a business. As much as we're selling like adult content, and people often get a little bit confused and they think it's just like a girl doing this in her spare time. If you want to make like the real money, 5-6 figures per month, it really needs to be treated as a business, and you need like multiple people working on your profile. And personally, I think there's just not enough time in the day for an OnlyFans model to be creating and performing all of the responsibilities that she needs to be doing in terms of content production, while simultaneously managing a team of 7 to 10 people is really what's needed, working on that exact profile from marketing through to sales and through to the actual sort of content planning and so on. It's just too much responsibility like for one person. Like you really need all of the processes in place. So at the very minimum, I strongly encourage you to outsource a lot of the labor, a lot of the work, perhaps to the Philippines, wherever you choose to, some cheaper part of the world. But yeah, I personally believe that a much easier route is just to go down the route of working with an OnlyFans agency, where as much as you're giving a percentage commission away, they are bringing all of that expertise to the table that they have from launching however many models they have launched. They've made the mistakes before and they know all of the shortcuts, or at least they should do, on how to successfully launch an OnlyFans model. But I would also encourage you just to go ahead and try it yourself, just so you can understand the value that the OnlyFans agency is actually bringing to the table. Next question is, how much time is needed to be a successful OnlyFans creator? Kind of a difficult question to answer. I'll do my best. I guess it varies. I guess I can only really talk from my experience. So I will talk from our models. For the first sort of 60 to 90 days, we have set scripts that we will ask them to create. This is template content that escalates. So we will tell them we need these specific, like these 5 to 7 pieces of content, and you need to be in this outfit, and this is what you need to be doing. And they're just like a couple of minutes each. So we will get all of that created. Then we need all of the like promotional content for social media, Instagram, Reddit, TikTok, and everything there, and a few other channels as well. Then we need like unique content for making out the Tinder profiles. And then we need like ongoing promotional content. So for the first 2 to 3 months, we would need about 2 to 3 hours per day from each of our models. To essentially, they need to become like a content machine, and they need to just churn out a load of content and get that over to us to allow us to do our jobs. But once that initial time has passed, it's probably about 90 days to be more realistic. Once the initial 90 days has passed, we've built out a huge like library of content that we're able to use, we're able to repurpose. We're constantly selling the same content on OnlyFans. So at that point, the workload of the OnlyFans model should actually drop quite significantly, and it should become quite passive to maybe an hour or so per day. And that will mostly be on creating like custom content and then a bit of promotional content for the various different channels. But yeah, mostly for selling custom content to clients. Next up, what are realistic earnings potentials as an OnlyFans creator? Again, like a very question, like of course people earn anywhere on OnlyFans from like $100 up to millions of dollars per month, depending on like your audience size. For me, like realistic earnings, if a model is like truly committed, and what I mean by that is if they OnlyFans, like the money is made over the long term for us. There's like a real compounding effect. So we would expect to be adding on about an extra $10,000 in monthly recurring revenue for each month that we manage a model. And that would probably hit a cap at around 60 to 80K per month. At that point, like the cancellation rate kind of catches up, and that is where we would expect to grow a model to. However, you're looking at about 6 to 8 months is like a pessimistic time frame, but it's like a realistic one to give. Like we have had cases where we've grown models faster than that, where we've literally hit the ground running in month 1 and we were bringing like 30 or 40K by month 2. But that's an anomaly, to be completely honest. Like it was a very good launch. I wish we had them all the time, but generally OnlyFans is like a little bit slower, and you need models who are consistent and they're in it for the long term. It's not going to be like a get rich quick scheme. We can be earning by like month 2, we should be bringing in like minimum of like 10 to 15K per month. But yeah, it really depends on like the output of the model. That's what it all comes down to. And the other like major factor is like, how open is the model to, what is she open to selling like all types of upsells? Because of course, if we're saying no to 50% of the custom requests or like the video requests that customers have, it's essentially, we're going to see like a 50% drop in revenue from upsells, which is going to have a significant impact.